Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling AI and cybersecurity, especially for all you small business owners and entrepreneurs and side hustle enthusiasts out there.
It's definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. And we've got a ton of articles and videos all about leading companies in AI cybersecurity.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
We do, but that's what we're here for. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to figure out just how AI is changing the game and what all of this means for you and your business.
All right, let's dive in. AI is really revolutionizing how cybersecurity works.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about that.
In the past, we depended on things like antivirus software, with the database of known threats.
Right.
But as you can imagine, cybercriminals are always coming up with new ways to attack.
It's like they're always one step ahead.
Exactly, they're always adapting. One of our sources, an article called 10 Leading AI Cybersecurity Companies to Watch in 2024 Ranked, describes AI as applying these heuristics to programming. So instead of relying on these fixed rules, AI learns and adapts over time. You can almost think of it like a security guard who gets to know all the patterns of your business, who comes and goes and when and what's normal, and that way they can spot something suspicious much faster than a system that's just relying on a set of rules.
So it's like having a security guard who's constantly learning and constantly getting better.
Exactly. And for small businesses, this is a game changer because one of the biggest benefits of AI is that it actually reduces these false positives.
Those annoying alerts that turn out to be nothing serious.
Exactly. Think about how much time you waste chasing down those false alarms. AI can help you avoid all that. Fewer interruptions, more time to focus on your business.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's be real for a second. Even with AI, cybersecurity can feel really overwhelming, especially for small business owners. We've got so much on our plates already.
You're absolutely right. And we actually have this great video interview with Max Gibbard, who's a leader in managed IT services. He talks about how technology is becoming increasingly complex, and that's a major challenge for small businesses.
It is.
Because you're not just dealing with computers and software anymore. You've got cloud services and mobile devices and remote work setups, this whole interconnected ecosystem.
Which can be a lot to manage, especially when it comes to security.
Exactly. Gibbard really hits the nail on the head when he says that a lot of small businesses, they just lack the expertise to handle this complexity.
Yeah, it's like trying to be your own lawyer, accountant, and marketing guru all at the same time.
Right.
You might be able to handle some of those basic tasks, but you really need that specialized expertise to do it right.
And that's why it's so important to really understand the key players in AI cybersecurity.
And how they can actually help protect our businesses.
Exactly. Our research has actually identified a few companies that are particularly relevant to small businesses like yours. One that stands out is Guards, a company that focuses on solutions for managed service providers who work with, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. And they have this really unique approach that combines security tools with an insurance policy.
That's actually really smart. It seems like they understand that no system is perfect, so they're giving small businesses that extra safety net.
Exactly. And it actually reflects a growing trend of kind of integrating risk management directly into those cybersecurity solutions. And this can be really appealing to small businesses that, they might not have the financial resources to withstand a major cyber attack.
All right, makes sense. Now let's talk about another big name in AI cybersecurity, CrowdStrike.
Oh, yeah, CrowdStrike. They're known for stopping what are called zero-day attacks, which can be really scary for small businesses.
Okay, a zero-day attack. Can you break that down for me a little bit?
Sure. It exploits a vulnerability that's completely unknown to software developers.
So there's no patch or fix available.
Exactly. And for a small business, that means you can't just rely on traditional antivirus software, right? You need a system that can learn and adapt to threats that haven't even been identified yet.
Okay, zero-day attacks. Now, that is something that I definitely need to learn more about. As a business owner, that's a vulnerability I can't afford to ignore.
Right.
So how does CrowdStrike actually stop these attacks if no one knows about the vulnerability?
Well, they use something called User and Entity Behavior Analytics, or UEBA for short.
Okay.
Imagine this. Your system notices that someone is trying to access your financial records from a device they've never used before at 3 a.m. That's a red flag that UEBA would catch, potentially stopping a really serious data breach.
Wow, so it's like having this digital detective who's always on the lookout for any kind of suspicious activity.
Precisely. And this is a game changer for stopping zero-day attacks because it doesn't rely on knowing about the specific vulnerability beforehand.
It just detects that something's off.
Exactly, and takes action to stop it.
Uh-huh.
Now, another company that stands out is Sinet. They focus on making advanced threat protection accessible to businesses that don't have, a dedicated cybersecurity staff.
That's huge for small businesses. We often don't have the budget to hire a whole team of security experts.
Exactly. Their main product, CNET 360, offers this comprehensive suite of security features, from antivirus protection to threat prediction, all in one package that's designed to be really easy to use and manage.
It's like getting enterprise-grade security, but without that enterprise-grade price tag.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got companies like Guards, CrowdStrike, and Cinet, who are all using AI to level the playing field for small businesses. But let's talk about the tangible benefits here.
Yeah.
How does AI cybersecurity actually help us save time and resources?
One of our sources, an article from Palo Alto Networks, makes a pretty compelling case for this. Remember how we talked about AI reducing those false positives?
Right.
Well, that's just the beginning. AI can actually automate a ton of security tasks that would otherwise just eat up your valuable time. Think about things like threat detection and response. Traditionally, if your system detected a potential threat, you or someone on your team would have to manually investigate it, figure out if it was real, and then take steps to neutralize it.
Yeah.
That could take hours, even days.
And during that time, my business is basically vulnerable.
Exactly. AI can significantly speed up this whole process. It can analyze threats in real time, determine how severe they are, and even take these automated steps to either contain or neutralize them.
All without me having to do anything.
Exactly. So it's not just about protection, it's about efficiency, too.
It's like having a 247 security team that never sleeps.
I like that.
But while all this sounds amazing, we can't ignore the risks.
Right.
Every new technology comes with its own set of challenges, and AI is definitely no exception.
You're absolutely right. And that's why we have this great source that actually dives deep into the real AI risks for businesses. It breaks down the risks into 7 key domains,
Okay.
which might sound intimidating, but it's actually really helpful for understanding the landscape.
Okay, 7 domains is a lot to unpack. Let's focus on a few that are really relevant to our small business audience. What do you think?
I would say misinformation, privacy and security, and malicious actor misuse are top of the list.
Okay, let's start with misinformation.
Okay.
We all know how fake news and online scams are just running rampant these days. But how does AI factor into this?
Well, AI can actually be used to create and spread misinformation. Think about how convincing those deepfake videos are getting. AI can generate text, images, and even audio that's incredibly realistic,
Right.
making it harder than ever to distinguish between truth and fiction.
It's like AI is giving these bad actors a whole new arsenal of weapons to deceive and manipulate people.
It's a scary thought.
What about privacy and security? How does that relate?
AI systems often require access to these massive amounts of data to function effectively.
Right.
And this data can include, sensitive customer information, financial records, proprietary business data, the kind of stuff you really don't want falling into the wrong hands.
It's like inviting a stranger into your home and giving them free rein to rummage through all your personal belongings.
Yeah, not a comforting thought.
Not at all.
That's why understanding how AI systems handle data, where that data is stored, and who has access to it is crucial.
Right.
You need to make sure that the AI solutions that you're using have really strong security protocols in place.
Right.
And that they're compliant with all the relevant privacy regulations.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about those malicious actors misusing AI?
Cybercriminals are getting increasingly sophisticated in their use of AI. They're using it to create more convincing phishing attacks, launch more powerful denial of service attacks, and even develop new types of malware that can kind of evade those traditional security measures.
It's like this arms race where the bad guys are constantly finding new ways to weaponize AI against businesses like ours.
You got it.
And small businesses are often the most vulnerable.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial for small businesses to be proactive about AI risk management. You can't just sit back and hope for the best. You need to understand the risks, implement the right security measures, and stay informed about the latest threats and trends.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice? What are some of the things that small businesses can do to manage these risks effectively?
Our source actually emphasizes the importance of having this structured approach to risk assessment, policy creation, and stakeholder communication.
Okay, risk assessment, policy creation, and stakeholder communication. Let's break down each of those, starting with risk assessment.
Okay.
What are the key things that small businesses need to be considering here?
Well, first, you need to identify your most valuable assets. Your data, your systems, your intellectual property.
Okay.
What would cause the most damage if it was compromised?
Right.
Then you need to think about the potential threats to those assets, both internal and external.
Okay.
Could someone within your organization accidentally leak sensitive information?
Right.
Could a hacker gain access to your systems through a vulnerability?
Okay.
It's almost like conducting a security audit of your entire business, looking for those weaknesses that could be exploited.
And once you've identified your risks, you need to really understand their severity and focus on the ones that pose the biggest threat to your business. What about policy creation?
Policy creation is all about establishing clear guidelines for how AI is actually used within your organization.
Oh, yeah.
You'll want policies around data privacy, data security, acceptable use of AI tools. It's like setting those ground rules for how AI is used, ensuring that it's used responsibly and ethically within your business.
And finally, there's stakeholder communication,
Yes.
which is all about transparency and building trust both within your organization and with the people you do business with.
Sure.
Everyone needs to understand the importance of AI security and their role in maintaining it.
Exactly. And speaking of trends and the future, let's turn our attention to Max Gibbard's insights on what's on the horizon for AI cybersecurity.
He points out some really fascinating trends,
Yeah.
like the increasing integration of cloud-based solutions and the growing importance of mobile security in the age of remote work.
Right.
These trends are only going to become more prevalent in the years to come.
Absolutely. The shift to cloud-based AI is already well underway. It offers that scalability, flexibility, and cost-effectiveness that traditional on-premises solutions just can't match. And with more and more people working remotely than ever before, securing those mobile devices and connections is absolutely paramount.
It's like the traditional office perimeter has completely dissolved,
Mhm.
and now our data is just scattered across this vast digital landscape. Securing that landscape is a whole new ballgame.
It is.
What can small businesses do to stay ahead of the curve?
You need to anticipate how these changes will impact your security posture and adapt your strategies accordingly. It's about staying ahead of the curve, not playing catch-up after a security breach. It's true, the threat landscape is changing constantly, and that means we all need to stay agile. But let's talk about those changes. Before, we were talking about the increasing complexity of the digital world and the challenges this brings for small businesses, especially when it comes to cybersecurity.
Right, we were talking about how many small businesses lack the resources and the expertise to handle this complexity effectively. It can feel like you're trying to sail a ship through a hurricane, but with a tiny crew and a leaky hull.
Haha. I like that analogy. That's a good one. And that's why understanding the specific AI security challenges that small businesses face is crucial. Let's break down some of the biggest issues, starting with data breaches.
Ugh, data breaches. That's the nightmare scenario for any business owner.
Absolutely. And small businesses are prime targets, because they may not have the same level of security as larger corporations. Plus, AI is changing the game in a few ways. AI can be used by these cybercriminals to launch more sophisticated attacks, automating tasks, creating personalized phishing emails, even bypassing traditional security measures.
So it's like AI is giving these bad actors a whole new toolbox.
That's a good way to put it. But remember, AI can also be a really powerful tool for preventing and mitigating data breaches. We talked about how AI can detect those anomalies and unusual behavior. Well, that same capability can be used to identify potential data breaches before they cause too much damage.
It's like having an AI watchdog guarding all your sensitive data.
Precisely. There are AI-powered security solutions that are specifically designed to detect and respond to these data breaches in real time. They can isolate affected systems and prevent further data loss. Basically act as a rapid response team that jumps into action the moment a breach is detected.
So it helps to minimize the damage and get businesses back on their feet faster.
Exactly. Now, another big challenge for small businesses is the lack of cybersecurity expertise.
Yeah, it's a big one.
You might not have the budget to hire a whole team of security specialists, and even if you did, finding qualified professionals can be, incredibly difficult. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, and we're competing with those big corporations that can offer higher salaries and more benefits.
That's where AI can really make a difference. AI-powered security solutions can automate many of the tasks that traditionally require human expertise, like vulnerability scanning, threat detection, and even incident response. This frees up your limited resources and allows you to focus on other parts of your business. It's like having this AI assistant taking care of all the complicated security stuff so you don't have to become a cybersecurity expert overnight.
And are these AI-powered solutions accessible to small businesses? I mean, are they affordable?
Well, the good news is that many of them are specifically designed for small businesses, with easy-to-use interfaces and affordable pricing.
That's great to hear. So even small businesses can use AI to enhance their security without, breaking the bank.
Well,
Okay, so we've talked about data breaches and the lack of cybersecurity expertise. What other challenges should small business owners be aware of?
Well, there's another challenge we need to talk about, the security of AI systems themselves.
Wait, AI systems can be hacked. I thought AI was supposed to be this ultimate defense against cyber attacks.
Well, it might sound a little counterintuitive, but AI systems are just like any other computer system.
Okay.
They can be vulnerable to attacks. Remember, AI systems are essentially software running on hardware, and that software can have bugs or vulnerabilities that hackers can exploit.
So even with AI, you can't let your guard down.
Exactly. And the stakes are even higher with these AI systems because they often control critical infrastructure, manage sensitive data, and make decisions that can have a significant impact.
Right?
If a hacker takes control of an AI system, the consequences can be devastating.
Okay, this is starting to sound a little scary. What can small businesses actually do to protect their AI systems from these kinds of attacks?
Well, the first step is to recognize that AI security isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. You need to implement security measures throughout the entire life cycle of your AI systems, from development and deployment to operation and maintenance. Think of it like building a fortress around your AI, making it much harder for those attackers to get in.
So you need to be proactive and stay ahead of the curve.
You got it. Some specific things you can do include hardening your AI infrastructure, using strong authentication and authorization, implementing data encryption, regularly updating and patching your AI software, and monitoring your AI systems for any suspicious activity.
So it's like having those multiple layers of security to protect your AI systems.
Exactly. And it might sound overwhelming, but there are AI-powered security solutions out there that are specifically designed to help small businesses manage all these tasks. They can automate a lot of those security measures, making it much easier to maintain a strong AI security posture.
Okay, so we've covered the challenges, but now let's get practical. What are some actionable steps that small business owners can take right now to improve their AI security? Give us some real-world tips.
I'm happy to share some practical advice. Let's break it down into a few key areas.
Great. Let's start with education.
Perfect. Start by understanding the basics of AI and cybersecurity. There are tons of free resources that are available online: articles, videos, webinars, online courses. The more you and your team know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about AI security.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And make cybersecurity training a requirement for all of your employees. Cover topics like password security, phishing scams, social engineering, and safe data handling practices. Remember, human error is often the weakest link in any security system, so it's crucial to empower your team with the knowledge and skills they need to stay safe online.
Okay, what about strong security basics?
This is fundamental. Use strong passwords and multi-factor authentication for all accounts, especially for those critical systems and sensitive data. A strong password should be at least 12 characters long. Include a mix of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, and shouldn't be easily guessable. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to provide a second form of verification, such as a code sent to their phone in addition to their password.
So two's better than one.
Exactly. And here's another important tip. Keep all software up to date with the latest security patches. This includes operating systems, applications, and even firmware for devices like routers and printers. Software updates often include security fixes for known vulnerabilities, so it's crucial to install them promptly.
That's easy to overlook, but it's so important.
Absolutely. And of course, don't forget to back up your data regularly and store those backups securely. This ensures that you can recover your data in the event of a cyber attack, hardware failure, or natural disaster. Consider using a combination of on-site and off-site backups for added protection.
Okay, so we've talked about education, security basics. What about choosing AI solutions? What are some tips there?
Choosing the right AI solutions is key. Carefully evaluate any AI-powered tools and services you're considering. Ask questions about their security features, their data handling practices, and compliance with relevant regulations. Don't be afraid to dig deep and make sure you're comfortable with how your data is being used and protected.
So do your homework.
Exactly. Prioritize AI solutions that offer transparency and explainability. You should be able to understand how the AI system works, what data it uses, and how it arrives at its decisions. The more transparent an AI system is, the easier it is to identify potential biases or security risks.
So it's all about understanding what's going on under the hood.
Yes. Look for AI solutions that are designed with security in mind. They should have built-in security features like data encryption, access controls, and intrusion detection. They should also be regularly updated and patched to address any known vulnerabilities.
Okay, so we've talked about education, basic security practices, choosing AI solutions wisely. What's the last piece of advice?
Stay informed about the latest threats and trends. Subscribe to cybersecurity newsletters and blogs, follow cybersecurity experts and organizations on social media, and consider joining industry groups or online forums focused on AI security.
Stay engaged and keep learning.
Yes, cybersecurity is a constantly evolving field, so it's essential to stay up to date on the latest threats and trends. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be to protect your business.
Great advice. AI security is a complex topic, but by taking these practical steps, small business owners can definitely improve their security and reduce their risk of becoming a victim of cybercrime.
Absolutely. And remember, cybersecurity is not a destination, it's a journey. The threat landscape is always evolving, so it's crucial to stay vigilant, adapt your strategies, and keep learning.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before we were talking about all the things that small businesses can do to boost their AI security.
Right, and now it's time to look ahead to the trends that are shaping AI security in the coming years. Max Gibbard, in that source video, hinted at some fascinating developments.
He did. He talked about how technology is becoming more and more interconnected,
Yeah.
with the lines blurring between our devices, the cloud, and even the physical world.
He's spot on. And this interconnectedness brings both opportunities and challenges for AI security. Think about the Internet of Things,
Okay.
or IoT for short. All those smart devices, from thermostats to security cameras that are connected to the Internet.
It seems like every day there's a new gadget that's supposed to make our lives easier. But it also creates another potential entry point for cybercriminals.
Exactly. And securing all these devices, many of which have limited computing power and weak security features, that's a huge challenge. But AI can actually be a big help here. AI-powered security solutions can analyze data from these devices, looking for anomalies that could signal a compromise. They can also automate things like patching vulnerabilities and responding to threats, which takes some of the pressure off human security teams.
So it's like having an AI security guard watching over your entire network,
Right.
including all those IoT devices, ready to jump into action at the first sign of trouble.
That's a great way to think about it. And this brings us to another exciting trend: the rise of edge computing.
Okay, edge computing. Break that down for me.
Sure. So instead of all data being processed in a central cloud, edge computing pushes data processing closer to where the data is actually generated, to the edge of the network.
Yeah.
Think about self-driving cars.
Okay.
They need to process huge amounts of data in real time to make decisions and drive safely. Sending all that data to a central cloud would just take way too long.
Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be like trying to steer a car using snail mail.
Exactly. So edge computing lets those self-driving cars process data locally, make decisions in milliseconds. And this same concept is being used in AI security. AI-powered security solutions can be deployed at the edge, closer to your devices and data, which makes threat detection and response much faster.
So instead of relying on a central security system that could be slow or overwhelmed, you have this network of AI security agents all working together to protect your business in real time.
Exactly. And this decentralized approach has some real advantages. It reduces delays, improves reliability, and increases privacy by keeping sensitive data closer to where it originated.
Okay, I'm starting to see the benefits here.
Yeah.
It's like having a neighborhood watch, where everyone's looking out for each other and responding to issues quickly.
That's a great analogy. Now, let's talk about another trend that's already having a huge impact on cybersecurity.
Yeah.
The rise of generative AI.
Generative AI. That's the technology behind things like ChatGPT, right? The one that can create text and images and even code. It seems like it's everywhere these days.
It is, and while generative AI has this amazing potential for businesses, it also presents some new security challenges. Cyber criminals are already using it to create much more convincing phishing emails and social engineering scams.
It's getting harder to tell what's real and what's fake online.
That's right. And generative AI can also be used to create deepfakes, Those realistic videos and audio recordings that can be used for, well, all sorts of bad things, like spreading misinformation or damaging people's reputations.
It's a bit scary how easy it is to manipulate things now. It's like the line between reality and fiction is getting blurrier and blurrier.
I hear you. But just as AI can be used for harmful purposes, it can also be used to fight back against those threats. AI-powered security solutions can actually analyze content, looking for signs of manipulation or fakery. They can also be used to spot and stop deepfakes, which helps protect businesses and individuals.
So it's like a high-tech game of cat and mouse, with good guys using AI to defend against the bad guys who are also using AI.
Exactly. And as AI continues to develop, this back and forth is only going to intensify.
So we've talked about the Internet of Things, edge computing, generative AI. It's clear that the future of AI security is going to be exciting
Yeah,
and full of challenges.
absolutely. And while we can't know for sure what the future holds, one thing is certain. AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role in cybersecurity. For small businesses, this means staying informed, being proactive, and embracing the power of AI to protect their data and their businesses.
It's about using AI to build a safer and more secure digital world.
Well said. I think it's time to wrap things up. Let's leave our listeners with a final thought to consider.
Okay, hit us with that final question.
In a world where AI is changing so rapidly, how can we ensure that our security measures are not just keeping up, but staying ahead of the curve?
That's a great question. It really highlights the need for continuous learning, adaptation, and a willingness to embrace new technologies and strategies. Because when it comes to cybersecurity, standing still is not an option.
You got that right. A huge thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and cybersecurity.
We hope you found this deep dive helpful, and we hope you'll continue to learn and explore this important topic. Because knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting your business in the digital age.